Hey, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the Pleb Underground. I am your host, Phil. All right, let's take a look at what's going on. So, today we are going with the lost Bitcoin narrative that just isn't adding up. Shout out to Sani XP for tagging me in this post. We are going to go over it. Sani, I've said this before. Sani's the only person that I trust doing any chain analysis because he's attempting to actually be accurate, not trying to sell a narrative. He's trying to understand what's happening. I appreciate that, and I think more people should appreciate that as well. Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna take a look at that. What else do we got? The president of the ECB is going to be stepping down. Christine Lagarde, finally, the convicted felon steps down from the ECB. Oh, the memories. We're going to take a look at that. Guys, yeah, we are at that part in the cycle where, believe it or not, the hopium, it's getting pretty thin. Doesn't mean I've got no hope. Just means it's thin. Anyways, we're also going to take a look at what else? The Goldman Sachs CEO, right? Everybody's all excited that this guy holds some amount of Bitcoin. Yay. We've got some pretty worrying stuff coming out of a fintech firm. They've got a data breach. There's an update on the Nancy Guthrie case, right? Another request for, not this time, it's not Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at that. There's the Arizona Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. We're going to take a look at that as well. There's a whole bunch of people cheering for that. Even shitcoiners are cheering for that. But again, nobody actually reads the details. So we're going to do that and bring everybody back into reality. BTC Maps and 402 payments for dummies. That's right. Even though people try to frame that Bitcoin is dying and Bitcoin is slow and all that good stuff, guess what? Innovation is still happening. Projects are still rolling out. People are still trying to do different things, and we're here for it. All right, guys, it's going to be a fun show. Let's freaking do it. Yeah, I know, right, Rourke? There's always a freak out. There's always a freak out, but it's okay. We're here. We're here to reassure everyone. Bitcoin is dead. Long live Bitcoin. Pleb Underground is sponsored by Archimedes Emporium. Discover the pinnacle of precision engineering, starting with their Bitcoin logo wall clock, meticulously machined in Maine from a solid block of aerospace-grade aluminum, ensuring unparalleled durability and performance. Experience the difference of a product made without compromise. Head on over to Archimedes Emporium. All right, and just a reminder, the streaming, for whatever reason, and StreamYard has identified this issue, that there's an issue with the streaming to Twitter. So some people are getting notifications that we're live, other people are not. It's just, even my own account doesn't really see them. So anyways, doesn't really make a difference. Yeah, let's go here, guys. Let's freaking go. Current Bitcoin fiat exchange, 66,551. Wow, that was a quick drop right there. Anyways, but at least the block height's still going up. 937,426. Fastest fee, 1 sat per VByte, although mempool.space may show you some slightly smaller numbers, right? Like fractions of a sat per VByte. The total public lightning capacity, 5,677. There we go. Those are the numbers. Lots of fun. All right, guys, this is what happened, okay? Everything got so terrible that I'm left with just Scottie Pippen Hopium. And in all fairness, right, the day after he posted this, we sank. So, yeah, not only does nobody believe that he met Satoshi in a dream, but Scottie, just stop doing the TA, bro. This is bad. Okay, all of us can draw poorly. All of us can draw poorly directional lines that do not equal a trend. But yeah, this is what I was telling you guys. It's slim pickings on the hopium. Was that? We went from Bitcoin succeeds, we're all going to die, if Bitcoin fails. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just, time is a flat circle. Yeah, big time Scottie tripping. Big time. Wonder how his altcoins are doing. Probably not doing too well. Okay, anyways, guys, this is one of my favorite narratives that we end up seeing. is the lost Bitcoin. Now, when it comes to the lost Bitcoin, right, there's multiple narratives that go along with this, right? There's Satoshi's coins, right? That supposedly Satoshi is one day going to pop back up, right? That's the famous Jamie Dimon, Satoshi's going to show up and sell his coins, stuff like that. That's wonderful. And then you have, of course, right, the people who have lost their coins, right? They lost access to it, right? Possibly the seed phrase wasn't written down right, or they just lost it altogether. Maybe the password to their wallet. Who knows? Who knows what it is? But those are just considered lost. Is that really true, though? Right? Because we've seen time and time again this kind of FUD resurface, cause jitters, and then life goes on. I think Sani does thank you, Salty Crayon. I was just thinking of this guy. This guy still, what is it, like 12 years later? 12 years later, and now at this point, if I'm not mistaken, oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so at the beginning of this cycle, the hard drive in the landfill guy, I think he made a shitcoin or an NFT or something like that. Yeah, that's what it was. And that if he's able to get this hard drive back and recover the Bitcoin, that you would get some portion of it. And of course, he gone. He got money from his NFT. He gone. That's how the scam works. So yeah, good call, Salty Crayon. Good call. That was like probably the most famous one. And the funny thing about the guy with the hard drive in the landfill is that every single bull run, that story comes back. Every bull run, we are reminded of that poor sap looking for his hard drive in the UK somewhere at some landfill, and he's just not going to make it. That's what's happening there. Okay, anyways, let's dive into this whole freaking the lost coins, right? Sani XP, follow Sani if you don't. He is definitely the best guy doing chain analysis out there. Like I said before, he's the most accurate. The 2 to 3 million lost Bitcoin narrative does not add up. So there's a claim that's been circulating that 2 to 3 million Bitcoin are permanently lost, often excluding the 1.12 million Bitcoin attributed to Satoshi because those coins are simply dormant. The problem, the data doesn't support the certainty behind that claim. So what the UTXO data actually shows, UTXO set analysis from block 0 to 209,999, there's 2,410,751 BTC have not been removed. From block 210,000 to 419,000, there's 1,151,571 Bitcoin that have not been moved. That totals 3.5 million approximately Bitcoin that haven't moved from early Bitcoin eras. This is where many jump to the conclusion those coins are lost. And this also helps with the fudding essentially to pump Bitcoin, thinking that, oh, there's so much less supply than we think. So here we go. Unmoved is not lost. On-chain data can show dormancy, not destruction, correct? Bitcoin does not have a lost flag. True. Coins remain unspent for many reasons. Early miners holding long-term, cold storage, treasury reserves, estate or inheritance delays, strategic multi-cycle hodlers, forgotten wallets that may later be recovered. History has already shown us that the lost coins sometimes move after 8 to 12 years. And I think that's a very important point to make because we've seen this, especially this last year. We've seen so many dormant addresses. Those coins could have been considered lost last cycle. They could have been used as FUD to make you think that Bitcoin's going to $2 million in the next 3 weeks because look at all these millions of coins that are lost. Scarcity increases. It's just sales, guys. It's just sales. So roughly 1.12 million Bitcoin mined in the early era are attributed to Satoshi Nakamoto. These coins are dormant. Dormant does not mean provably destroyed. This is a very good point. If we exclude those coins from calculations, we're still left with a large amount of early BTC that is simply inactive, not demonstrably lost. There's no cryptographic proof. Those keys are gone. Also true. What would provably lost actually mean? To confidently label coins are permanently lost, we would need proof private keys were destroyed, coins sent to provably unspendable scripts, cryptographic impossibility of spending. And you'll notice that a lot of the cheerleaders that sell this narrative about these lost coins and stuff like that, they never dive into these details, right? Because these details essentially are more in line with looking at the situation accurately rather than selling you a narrative. Blockchain data alone cannot provide this proof. It only shows that coins haven't moved. That's an important distinction. There's no doubt that some BTC has been permanently lost. Hard drives discarded. It's our hard drive guy. Private keys forgotten, early mistakes. But jumping from some is lost to confidently asserting 2 to 3 million are gone is speculative, not definitive, and it's also dangerous if you ask me. The UTXO data shows dormancy. It does not prove destruction. And until destruction is provable, calling millions of Bitcoin permanently lost is an assumption, not a fact. And let's be honest, it's just a sales narrative, right? That's what that is. It's just a sales narrative. Hey, good morning, free RS guides. Here we go. What do you got to say, Rourke? If I was a mega whale, I would create a narrative about dormant coins to increase the perceived scarcity. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, this is just, it's so sad that people fall for this shit over and over again. And it's so funny, right? Because you've got some Bitcoin cheerleaders that use it for the scarcity case. And then you have shitcoiners that use it to say, oh, well, somebody's going to show up and dump on you. It's like shitcoiners understand what that's about. They're used to getting bags dumped on their head. Let's just be honest, right? Okay, so everybody's all excited about this guy, and I shouldn't say everybody, but a whole bunch of the TradFi bros, right? We've been seeing this now for like 24 hours, right? Goldman Sachs CEO David Soloman announces he owns a small amount of Bitcoin and is an observer of the asset, but of course the amount is not disclosed or anything like that. And you know, we're supposed to be excited because this guy decided to buy Bitcoin. Good for you, bro. Good for you. Welcome to the club. My favorite part. Yay! So, President of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, is expected to resign before the end of her 8-year term. She could resign today. I'd be thrilled. Now, let's watch this little video here from TXMC. This is great. A wonderful little Lagarde moment. Here we go. Or not. There we go.
The balance sheet of the European Central Bank and the money that is on there now. And here it is. What I would like to show our viewers and ask the question about is, this is going over 8 trillion euros now. Mm-hmm. And isn't what you just told us about the cryptocurrencies, don't we see a gigantic bubble here on your balance sheet with the euro? And isn't this graph very nerve-wracking?
Well, I can tell you that there is 0 crypto assets in the balance sheet of the ECB.
That I know.
Point number 1. Well, I just don't want any ambiguity about it.
Yeah.
But
it's funny how these people, they create money out of thin air, and they're like, I just want to let you know and to be certain that there is no crypto on the balance sheet. Like, you'd be better off with that shit, okay? In all honesty, it's so sad.
You have to think in terms of counterfactual. If we had not decided on March 18th, when we put together the pandemic.
Okay, so here we go. This is where they explain, right? They explain that they had no choice but to print money. I love it.
Pandemic emergency program, and then subsequently increase the volume of commitment that we made to
making you poorer and reducing your purchasing power was to save you. Okay? That's what it was for. It was saving us.
The European Union economies, we would be in a devastated situation. So I don't regret any of that move that we took on that day, which was 4 months into my job, to significantly increase the size of the balance sheet, because that's
what was, you see that? Okay, so the reason why she explains it's 4 months into her job is to let you know it's not her fault. It's great. Just fucking throw the other people under the bus. Oh, this is great. You know, it's kind of funny that personal responsibility is a superpower, and it's interesting, right? Because it's government. It's the ECB. Like, why? Like, do you honestly think that if you take responsibility for screwing things up, that it's even going to matter? It's so funny.
That's all we had. Yeah. Otherwise, the economy would have collapsed, and it would have been even accelerated by a financial
You
crisis.
had to do it. It was
So-
the COVID crisis. You say that's what we
Yes.
needed to do. But how do you get it?
It will
back.
come. It will come
It's coming.
in due course. Yeah.
Are we still waiting for that? Because it's 2026 now, and everything looks way worse.
How?
In due
How?
course, it will come.
Yeah.
No,
But do you
because I
sleep
will-
at night when you see this?
Yeah, she's still getting a paycheck. Of course, she sleeps at night. It's so funny to pretend these people care. This is what happens when you become government. You're absolved of any type of personal responsibility. It doesn't matter. You're just part of a giant machine. That's it. Just giant machine. What? YouTube censored the comment. Oh, come on. That's weak. Probably would give her a wake-up call, though, if she got punched in the face.
Of course, I have to sleep at night, and I have to worry every morning. Yeah.
Yeah. She's worried about the economy, guys. She's definitely worried about the economy. So, farewell. Can't wait to see you go, Christine Lagarde. I don't think your successor is going to do a better job. I think it's just going to be a whole lot of the same old LARPing and bullshit. And, yeah, kicking the can down the road. Kick the can technology seems to work very well. Very well indeed. Anyways, TXMC, thank you so much for posting that little memory, because I did not remember that, and that is absolutely brilliant. I love that. Throws her predecessors under the bus, reminds everybody she's new to the job. You know, it's kind of funny because I was thinking about that, right? So a lot of us have been new to jobs, right? A lot of us are, it's like you go and you start a job. You've never done this before. As much as it's an excuse, it's not. It's not like she didn't know that they were printing money before. It's not like this is all a giant surprise. It's just, it's so embarrassing. Anyways, okay, whatever. Let's continue. She gone. All right, so here we go, guys. Data breach at fintech firm Figure. Not good. Hackers have stolen the personal and contact information for nearly 1 million accounts. Figure uses the Provenance blockchain. Oh, it's a shitcoin thing for lending, borrowing, and securities trading, and has unlocked over 22 billion in home equity with over 250 partners, including banks, credit unions, fintechs, and home improvement companies. That just gives you an idea of which people got their data compromised, not just the customers. Anyways, while the blockchain lender didn't publicly disclose the incident, a Figure spokesperson told TechCrunch on Friday that the attackers stole a limited number of files in a social engineering attack. Limited number of files? Data exposed goes back dating to January 2026, contained over 900K unique email addresses, along with names, phone numbers, physical addresses, and dates of birth. Figure confirmed the incident and attributed it to a social engineering attack in which an employee was tricked into providing access. So look, that is usually the lowest hanging fruit. Believe it or not, social engineering, one of the easiest things you can do is start to work your way up through the lowest levels of customer service or technical support. And the reason is because those people, their jobs are to help you. Okay. So those people, what they want to do when they get on the phone with you is to assist you. So if you start asking for assistance, that's usually going to help lead you down that path. And the reason why I'm explaining all of this is you should all be reading, or at least listening to the book, The Art of Deception by Kevin Mitnick. Because as you know what, that book is what, like 20 years old, 25 years old. All of the social engineering tactics are completely relevant today, with the exception of standing at a payphone. So it's definitely a worthwhile read, you know? Yeah, I agree. The lizard folk need to pay for the bill of the misdeeds. Yeah, Salty Crayon, absolutely excellent read. I always recommend it. I will always recommend it. That, to me, it was so eye-opening because I had just, like, I was in tech school and I had just graduated from tech school, and I had just gotten into the world of hacking, right? Like essentially sitting there and trying to figure out, how to connect, let's say, for example, back then to like a Windows machine, right? To connecting to the hidden C share, and then all of a sudden you get access to the whole root of the C drive on another machine, like stuff like that. So when I found Kevin Mitnick's book, I was just completely blown away that this guy was doing insane stuff without even using a computer. He literally hacked a bank with 50 cents and a payphone. I want you guys to really think about that. 50 cents and a payphone. Why 50 cents? 2 phone calls. 2 phone calls to the bank from the payphone. Anyways, wild stuff. Absolutely wild. Okay. Anyways, let's you got to read it, man. ACP, it's worth it. At least listen to it. At this point, we have no more excuses because of Audible, right? We could just be listening to these books. They're so it's so easy. And I know people are like, oh, listening to a book is shitcoin. That's a shitcoin. You know what? I've listened to at this point, 50, 60 books and taken notes from them. I beg to differ that it's a shitcoin. Anyways. All right. So the TMZ. I can't believe that this is where I'm going, guys. I apologize. Okay. I do. Is he? No, not that. Damn you, Rourke. Damn you. Okay. Anyways. All right. TMZ receives new ransom demand. So here we go, guys. TMZ has obtained another ransom note. And this is newer, guys. This is newer. So now at this point, there are, if I'm not mistaken, there have been 3 ransom notes. Okay. This is the 3rd one. Okay. So this one is, and this is funny, guys. This one is highly sophisticated, demand involving a cryptocurrency other than Bitcoin. Uh-oh. We're going to speculate as to what they're asking for, though. The email demands a dollar amount similar to the 6 million ransom demand, which was the previous email, days after the kidnapping. This email graphically describes the consequences if the ransom isn't paid. The new ransom demand email includes a crypto account number that is different from the original. We have forwarded the email to the FBI and will not be more specific. Okay, guys. So, all right. So Salty Crayon has put in his or her bet right here. They want Pepe JPEGs. All right. So you're saying the Pepe JPEGs. I wonder what currency do they want? I mean, look, I'm thinking of it like a Bitcoiner, and I'm thinking of it like a person in this space, right? So what could they be asking for? Well, realistically, if they've been paying attention to any of the narratives, maybe they're asking for Monero, right? That's pretty much my only reasoning. And it was kind of funny because on Nancy Grace last night, she was going through, and she was like, what cryptocurrencies could they possibly be asking for? And then she lists off like Ethereum and Litecoin and Cardano. Like, who the hell who's feeding them this information? Like, look, not that I'm looking for a job in those places. I'm really not. But the mainstream media, you guys should try hiring people that actually know something that could be feeding people like Nancy Grace proper information. There's not a chance that the guy demanding a ransom is asking for crappy ETH or Cardano. and again, I'm not saying Monero is good. I'm just saying that anybody who knows anything about this space, right, if they're not asking for Bitcoin, they're most likely asking for Monero. So just saying, oh, very good point, right? Or cashew. Can you imagine that all they would do is, to your point, right? I'm thinking of this. What if they just sent a lightning invoice, right? They just sent the lightning invoice and they're looking at this like, the hell do I do with this? That could have happened too, right? So could have been lightning invoice, could have been Monero, could be cashew. Be interesting if it was cashew though, right? That would mean that's like somebody really on the cusp of the bleeding edge of Bitcoin. I would think so. All right. Anyways, let's take a look at this Arizona crap. This wonderful announcement here about the Arizona Strategic Bitcoin and Crypto Reserve. So it's funny. Some XRP person popped into a space 2 nights ago and was like, Arizona's going to be stacking XRP. It's like, no, they're not, bro. They're not. You got to read through that shit. Again, right? It's the same thing as the cheerleaders who are trying to sell you that these states are all going to be buying Bitcoin. They're not. They're not. The Digital Asset Strategic Reserve Fund is established consisting of monies appropriated by the legislature and digital assets that are seized by confiscated or by surrendered to the state. They're never buying it, guys. They're never going to buy it. And if there is some small number that gets purchased, it is strictly to feed the narrative so that you continue to trust, right? Continue to trust your state. Continue to trust the government. That's all this is. And these XRP bros are like cheering. They're like, the states are going to be buying XRP. No, they're not. They're not buying XRP the same way that the states, for the most part, are not buying Bitcoin. They are just taking seized Bitcoin. That's it. Oh, gosh. Oh, this good. Verhoofty, what is this? You're in an XRP channel, chat daily, and they're completely, yeah, I feel terrible. I don't know what it is. And again, right, it could just be people being disingenuous, but is it possible that many people who can't do basic multiplication all found each other and started hodling XRP? Is that really what happened? Because I see these ridiculous things, like these people thinking, I mean, already $571 per XRP at the time was completely insane. But now you've got people talking about $1,000, $50,000. I mean, is anybody doing math there? It's just insane. Got to feel bad for them, though. You kind of do have to feel bad for them. At least I do. A bit. Okay. So anyways, I look, this site's been around from what I saw. Their Twitter's been around since 2022. All right. So I'm not trying to pretend like, oh, wow, this is the latest and greatest thing in Bitcoin. I didn't know about this. Okay. I didn't know about BTC Maps. So big whoop. Want to fight about it? But I think it's cool. And I want to tell you guys about it in case you don't know about it. So yeah, this is good stuff. This is very good stuff. So they tag places that accept Bitcoin and display those merchants in their app. You could install it on Android, right? You can see right here, use it on the web, use it on your Droid, use it on iOS. Why not? BTC Maps, if you're interested in spending your corn. The art of deception was used to get people into XRP. I don't know. I sometimes think that they found a bunch of people that had like a history of like sniffing glue or something, and they put them all in a room. I know that's mean. That's ad hominem attack. I'm just doing the bad shit the shitcoiners do. I apologize. Okay. Anyways, so BTC Maps, cool stuff. Next, eCash. Cali just builds shit, right? While other people are crying about JPEGs and use my software and all this stuff, Cali's just freaking building. eCash just works with 402 payments. And we're going to talk about the 402 payments thing because that is a specific that is a specific aspect of the HTTP protocol, which is not currently being used, which could be currently being used. Anyways, agents intuitively understand bearer assets. Take a coin, put an HTTP request, send it. Okay. I know that doesn't mean much to me either. So here we go, guys. He made this website, 402 for Dummies. All of this is in the show notes. Everything you need to master HTTP 402 micropayments without the headaches. So keep in mind, guys, this isn't really necessary. From my perspective, this isn't necessarily for a retail user. This is about people who want to be building payment platforms and or accepting payments, let's say through their website. So here we go. What is this actually used for, right? You can add micropayments to APIs or web services. Building pay-per-use or metered content, charging per article, per API call, per generated image, server-side paywalls for premium guides, data sets, or private feeds, or machine-to-machine payments, which essentially means AI agents. So that's pretty cool stuff. All of that is in the show notes. And for the people who don't know, right, the 402 payments required, what is that, right? HTTP 402 payments required status code is a non-standard response status code reserved for future use. Now, a lot of older Bitcoiners definitely know about this type of stuff because this was a pretty strong narrative, a pretty strong meme back in like 2017, 2018. The status code was created to enable digital cash or micropayment systems and would indicate that requested content is not available until the client makes a payment. So that's right, guys. Bitcoiners are working on making this a reality. Pretty cool. Yeah. Hey, there you go. I mean, look, so at the end of the day, right, as long as you don't get wrecked, you know, that's really what matters. My whole thing is this, right? I don't really care what anybody does with their, I mean, obviously it's like, what the hell, like who thinks like that? Like who actually gets so invested in what somebody else is doing with their money, you know, that like it bothers them so much. So for me, it's like I don't have any issue. My issue comes when people try to sell you something that is not that thing, right? They're trying to sell you a scam and they're trying to frame it a certain way. So it's like I buy lots of useless crap. I'm not talking about buying shit coins, but I'm just talking about like in general, right? It's like I buy all kinds of useless crap. I would never actually sit here and tell you that it's a good investment or it's a good idea. Right? Like any shit coin I ever purchased back in like 2017 or anything, I didn't shill any of those things. I didn't feel comfortable because I already thought they were scams. So I was like, and I was just being a degen, right? Like I thought they were complete garbage. I was being a degen and I was like, hey, I'm gonna, you know, this is what I'm gonna do. You know, I'm gonna take my shot. So yeah, I don't disagree with that. My whole problem just comes with people trying to sell it to other people, right? Like that's where I get the issue. Everybody's entitled to do whatever it is that they want to do with their money. Except for these two guys. These guys were not allowed to do what they wanted. They were writing code and now they are in jail. Consider signing the petition, consider donating. Guys, that does it for today. That is the episode. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. And tomorrow, big day, right? So 12 o'clock, daily news. And don't worry, I'm getting the Hopium already. But tomorrow night, 6 p.m. I know. The memory address I'm trying to reach is unavailable. So I got to go find it. Yeah, 6 p.m., guys. Okay, 6 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to have Jimmy on. It's going to be myself and Sir Ulrich and Jimmy Song. And yeah, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of fun stuff. What's up, Plankton? What did I say? What did I say? Very Canadianly stated. I don't know. We'll have to talk about this in a space so that I understand what you said. Everybody's in it for the tech. Man, I'm so in it for the tech. I remember when I fell for that narrative, though, the in it for the tech narrative. That's when I was a shitcoiner. And I was like, you know, you look at Bitcoin and you're like, yeah, you know, this is just old tech. It was good when it first came out, but there's this other stuff. And immediately you realize, well, I shouldn't say immediately, but once you start reading through all of these different white papers, you realize that you're just going to be chasing an endless circle of garbage narratives, every single one of them trying to outdo the other one. And you start to realize, well, wait a second, if it's all about the tech, then why would I buy any of these? Because they're all just going to be supplanting each other forever and ever. Yeah, exactly, Rourke. Bitcoin is boomer coin, you know, and I remember that narrative too. I was like, you know, it's, well, I guess we're just in it for the old tech, you know, just in it for the old tech. But what people don't realize is that when you're dealing with a store of value, when you're dealing with censorship resistance, when you're dealing with unfuckwithable money, excuse my language, you want something that doesn't move fast, that doesn't break, that has layers of security. And when I'm talking about that for Bitcoin, I'm talking about the hash rate, of course, right? Like, do you know how much money and how much resources it costs to attempt to undo a Bitcoin transaction, especially once it's actually been confirmed? Yeah, it's not about the tech, guys. It's definitely not about the tech. Yep, exactly. And one of the best ways that I was able to show my normie friends that all of these things are scams was that I would show them the Bitcoin altcoin chart of their desire, right? Like they'd be like, oh, I'm buying this coin, you know, and I'd be like, okay, let's go take a look at that against BTC pair and see how it looks. And every single one of them, as you guys know, is just down, right? Down to the right and then completely flat, you know? So, oh, nice, nice. We've got one of these guys here. Epstein circle. Yeah, prove it. Prove that shit. Oh, that's good stuff. I love the FUD. The FUD guys are funny. Anyways, guys, I am going to catch you tomorrow. Take it easy.